G'day jabronis, it is the Verd, back with you again. Welcome here to our team builder for our week 6 game of the NPL up against Trev CL and the Houston Toxapexans. Really big game for both of us here. We are both currently 3 and 2. He is +7, I am +6, so incredibly close between us. The winner of this game basically goes into second place overall in the conference and is in a really good spot. In the conference and in a really good spot overall. Really big game over the halfway point of the season now. So looking to keep on consolidating this team and making it as good as possible. And I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with the team too, I guess. Like the first few weeks I was a bit iffy with it. I always start off a bit rocky with the team, but now I've really understood how this team works and I'm able to build what I feel to be some really solid teams in a lot of the matchups. But if you guys are hyped for this game, make sure you like the video, subscribe, all that good shit. But we're going to get straight into this. So, Trev has a very, very scary team. Obviously, Mega Morwile is a terrifying Mega. And when it came to my ways of dealing with it, initially I was thinking, I've got this that can defensively check it, this that can defensively check it. And then I thought, well, that seems a bit redundant. It was the same when I was like building against Danza, where I was in the mindset of I can defensively check these Pokemon, whereas I'd rather try and aggressively pressure them so that, yeah, they might be able to get a kill or do something, but at the same time, they're hindered from being a massive nuisance, because like a sub Morwile could be really annoying to deal with against something like, like a Ferrothorn. So I decided to be a bit more aggro in my style and try to more focus on the pivoting and then using my really solid wall breakers in this matchup to the best of their ability, if that makes sense. So let's jump into it. So first and foremost, Ferrothorn. This is most likely going to be my lead in this matchup against Trev. It just matches up really well against everything he can lead with. I've EV'd it so that it can live an Adamant, Life Orb, Technician, Force Palm. I thought my phone went off there. It can live a Adamant, Technician, Life Orb, Force Palm from Loom, and then knock it straight out with Gyro Ball. Now Loom is a huge threat to my team. I don't really have like a great check to it, so being able to just straight up knock it out turn 1 with Ferrothorn is massive in this matchup. Granted, he could be a bulk upset, which could be slightly annoying to deal with, but I do have some ways around that for sure. But first and foremost, Ferrothorn can check that, but it's not just for that. It also has a lot of Spadef, so it can take a lot of fire moves, which is why it has the Occa Berry. So this allows it to take a hit from Hidden Power Fire, Persian, which I think it'll be Hidden Power Steel, but just in case Hidden Power Fire, we got coverage for that. It also covers against Flamethrower Nidoqueen. Maggie. Oh, sorry, you're ballsy. There you go. Thank you. She's being very cute. Also covers Fire Fang from Morwile. Just takes a lot of hits from a lot of his mons and can dish back. Thunder Wave is really important. That shuts down the Salamence, which is one of the biggest threats on his team to my team. So I really want to be able to shut that down. Knockoff is there to get rid of things like Reuniclus's item, Nidoqueen's item, mons that I could easily knock off. It's also really clutch against the Reuniclus, because if it has a Cobble Berry, I can knock that off, and that sets up Hydra and Hariyama to put in work later on. And then Stealth Rock is just there. I don't have to set up Stealth Rock, they're just there if I get a chance to set them up. Mainly, I'm just trying to keep rocks off my side of the field, which is why I have Diancie plus Hydra. But at the same time, if I get the chance with Ferrothorn to be able to get the rocks up, then I definitely will. But it's not the priority. But moving on to my next mon here, it is my Ne-Croz-Ma, a bit of a bulky kind of offensive set, I suppose. The speed investment is enough to speed creep Adamant Loom. So I feel like if Trevor's going to bring his Breloom to this matchup, I believe Adamant is the way he's going to go with it. I feel Jolly doesn't really give him a lot in this matchup unless he's like Jolly Scarfed potentially to try and creep things, but other than that, I don't see it being anything other than that. I think Adamant makes the most sense. I want to creep that. Then I have enough special attack investment so that my +1 Earth Power OHKOs max HP Mega Morwile. So just knock that thing straight out. I don't have to waste my Z move because knock that thing straight out. But I am running the Ground EMZ. The reason for that is because +1 Ground EMZ guaranteed knocks out Persian. It does over half to Reuniclus, which is really, really important actually. Sorry, I should clarify. It does half to Reuniclus, max HP Reuniclus without any boost. So say for example, the Reuniclus is weakened, and I go for Carmine, he's gone for Carmine or something, it will do 50% standard. So like if Reuniclus is below 50 and I can send in a Ne-Croz-Ma, Ground EMZ will knock that thing out and get rid of that from the game, which is huge for me in this matchup. Reuniclus is definitely an annoying mon to deal with. I do have ways around it, but definitely is an annoying mon to deal with. And then I'm running Psyshock, mainly because the combination of Psyshock and Earth Power just really runs through Trev's team. It doesn't have a lot of checks for it. I feel like he won't bring Toxic on his P2 for the fact that there's a good chance he's going to bring P2 if he does to check my Diancie, and it's going to be pretty redundant bringing Toxic on it if you're trying to check a Magic Bounce Pokemon. So I feel like he won't, which means there's a good chance that Ne-Croz-Ma can just continually set up these Carmines and take out a few of Trev's Mons, which would be massive in this game for sure. It has the rest of the investment in defense over HP. I just felt that I'd get enough of my Spadef through the Carmines. I just wanted to maximize my Fizdef to be able to take a hit maybe from the Salamence a bit better and chip it. As I found during one of my mocks, Psyshock will do about half Demence, which automatically puts it in range of my Talonflame. So that is huge in this matchup to be able to do that. Next up though, we have Hydreigon. I initially did have a Choice Scarf set, but decided to go with this Choppleberry set. It was also Life Orb initially with like a Modest Nature, but now it is Timid. I am creeping Adamant Salamence. I figured that'd be a really nice speed creep to go with, because if he's Adamant, obviously his damage output is going to be a lot worse against my team, but if he goes Jolly, then things aren't going to get hit as hard, and it's really good scouting to know. I have enough special attack investment to where my Flamethrower guaranteed knocks out Loom, and guaranteed does about 60 to 70% to Mawile, which is just really important in general for a lot of my team. It puts it in range of a lot of Mons. It means that Ferrothorn's Gyro Ball plus Hydreigon's Flamethrower knocks out the Mawile. Then I'm running 164 speed, like I said, for that Ment, and then the rest I just chucked into HP. I could have maybe chucked it into defense. I am running the Chopple for two reasons. One is for Reuniclus in case it goes for the Trick Room, and the second one is for the Breloom. Obviously, if it tries to go for Mach Punch, I can obviously take the Mach Punch and knock it straight out. So either way, got ways to deal with it. Reuniclus going for Trick Room is annoying, but I can definitely deal with it as he can't just guarantee keep on doing it. So that's really important. I got Defog on there as well. Mainly, I got Roost because I feel like Hydreigon can, be healed up and put in work against other Mons. And then I got the Defog in there, especially for my Talonflame. Talonflame is a huge important member in this matchup that I need to be able to preserve as much as possible. So that was something I really wanted to keep in mind. Next up though, we got probably one of my biggest wall breakers of my team. These last three, so the first three are their own little mini core. They kind of can pivot around Trev's team defensively in a way, but also hit quite hard offensively, and now this side is more the offensive kind of core. So Hariyama, first and foremost, is, I think, the best wall breaker I have against Trev's team. He does have resist to close combat, but like they're not really resist. Like I was in a mock where my opponent had a max Fizdef Reuniclus and was taking 28% from a close combat. Like that's ridiculous damage. I'm running Jolly for a very specific reason. I am running Jolly Nature to creep Adamant Mega Mawile, and I'm actually being really smart about this. I'm running 203 speed, which might seem a bit weird because Adamant Mega Mawile hits 199, but the reason I'm doing that is because I think what Trevor's going to do is he's going to think that I'm going to run like a 200 speed Hariyama with the Jolly Nature to creep the Adamant Mawile. So I'm thinking what he might try and do is run Jolly Mawile with 201 speed to creep that creep. So I'm running 203 to kind of counter him running Jolly Mawile to creep an Adamant Hariyama, as if he's doing it the same way around to me. Because there's no reason to run more speed than that, and I can take complete advantages. And if I know that he's a fast Mawile, he's lacking the bulk he needs to take hits from things like Hydreigon, Diancie, even Ferrothorn for that example. So that's really, really good information that I can pick up from that. The moveset is pretty straightforward. Close Combat is easily my most spammable move, other than Knockoff. Both of them just kind of run through his team. Ice Punch is there for Ments if need be. I actually, because of the Thunderwave Ferrothorn, can outspeed the Ments with Hariyama if he hasn't DD'd up, and go straight for the Ice Punch to knock him out. And the Bullet Punch is a really important move on here, as it will catch the Rabombi, it will catch basically anything that's been weakened, and just pick them off really, really easily. But the reason why it coincides so perfectly with my Talonflame is because Talonflame will try and bait in Mons like the Porygon 2, the Reuniclus, and the Rhyperior. Three things which Talonflame can hit, but not overly deal with, especially Rhyperior. But because I can just U-turn with Talonflame and come straight to Hariyama and activate the Flame Orb, Hariyama also basically speed creeps any Rhyperior set unless he's like max speed Jolly. So again, if he tries to speed creep Adamant Hariyama with Rhyperior, I'm creeping that, and I'm able to just click Close Combat, and it does a ridiculous amount to Rhyperior. It's actually insane how much damage it does. So Hariyama is a massive, massive important Pokemon in this game, just because of the sheer wall breaking potential it has. My opponent just doesn't have a lot of switch-ins for it. And I can just spam a lot of moves in general. Like, I can find a time to just click knockoff if I want to, or just close combat, because I know that close combat into like an ice punch or something could just knock some stuff out. But next up, a pretty interesting set. I have my Scarfed Talonflame here. Now, you might be a bit confused. It's like, you know, why the hell are you running a Scarfed Talonflame in this matchup? Doesn't really make much sense. The reason is because I don't really, as you can see from the team, have a lot of ways to deal with setup. My main way of dealing with setup is more letting the Pokemon that's in against that mon kind of stay in, because say it's like Hydreigon against Salamence. Obviously Hydreigon can't kill Salamence in one shot, but I can either damage him with Dark Pulse as he goes for the DD, to the point where potentially 2 Dark Pulses knocks him out, force him to kill me, and then at +1 speed he can't outspeed my Talonflame. Same goes for Ribombee. I can Flamethrower that thing and it can't knock me out, and if he kills me, then there's a different story. If Ribombee just kills my Hydreigon straight up, then I could go into Ferrothorn, or I could just go hard Ferrothorn against the Ribombee. Hariyama could potentially revenge Ribombee. The big thing with Salamence too is if it just straight up kills my Hydreigon, I can just go straight to Diancie right after that and put on an incredible amount of pressure. So it's a bit of a twofold thing where I can, you know, I have ways out against anything my opponent does, but Talonflame is super duper important in this matchup. I was contemplating between Flame Body and Gale Wings because of Loom, in case, like, you know, he's potentially Choice Scarfed, but because I have Brave Bird and Flare Blitz and there is a chance of a Rocky Helmet user on Trev's team, I feel Gale Wings is not as necessary as potentially Flame Body could be, as, you know, if I can predict a Mawile going for an Iron Head, or even Breloom going for Mark Punch and potentially get the burn on them, then that's huge in this game. So I'd rather have that and take advantage of that situation than anything else. U-Turn is the most spammable move that I will use in this game. The main premise of the move is to just spam it against all the mons that would normally come in against T-Flame, using T-Flame's ability to just OHKO things to force Trev to want to swap out, and then go into something that's appropriately going to be able to deal with it. Like if Nidoqueen comes in, then I can just go into Ne-Croz-Ma. If Rhyperior comes in, I can go into Hariyama. Like, I've got counters to basically everything he does there. Brave Bird, obviously, and Flare Blitz, super spammable as well if I need them to. Once Rhyperior goes down, this thing can put in a lot of work, and Me First is there. It seems like a bit of a silly choice to put Me First on here, but the reason for it is because Brave Bird and Flare Blitz do good damage to a lot of mons, but it doesn't do like overly great damage to Mence. So if Mence is locked into Outrage and kills one of my mons and Diancie's down, I can go into Talonflame and Me First the Outrage and reverse knockout Salamence. So that's really, really important for me in this matchup to be able to have another way around that, because obviously DD Mence is super duper annoying for my team, but that also is why it's a huge emphasis on Hydreigon being able to get rid of the hazards, because getting rid of the hazards puts me in a really strong position overall in this matchup, and Talonflame can just kind of freely do whatever it wants. So definitely really important, but it's also important to get Diancie Mega Evolved, and my Diancie set is a bit of an interesting one, I guess, this week. It's nothing special really. It's just kind of a Rock Polish set. I'm running enough speed to creep Salamence, just in case, you know, he's running DD, but, you know, decided to swap out or something. Pretty standard. I could have ran Modest on this, but I decided not to. I just figured this would be fine. Protect is there to scout for if a Alolan Persian does have the Hidden Power Steel, if I haven't got a Rock Polish up. And Rock Polish is just there because late game I could get it up, and if he has a Scarfmon, I can outspeed and go to town. The defense investment is just there for things like Mark Punch Breloom in the late game. But this is a pretty straightforward set. It got a lot of kills in Mox because my opponent's only real good counter to Diancie, I feel, is either like a really fat Reuniclus, potentially a fat Rhyperior, or just running the Porygon 2. I feel like Porygon 2 is the best check, but the thing with P2 is that I have Ferrothorn and Hariyama, both of which have packing knockoff and can put a lot of pressure onto the P2. And when P2 has the Eviolite knocked off, then Diancie's doing a lot more damage to it, and unless it's running Iron Tail, it's not really doing much back to me. So Diancie becomes a massive win con in that respect. So that's why this side is another big core, because Diancie can break his team. How does Diancie get the chance to break his team? Well, Talonflame can pivot it in certain situations, and Hariyama kind of just busts through everything that walls Diancie, and Diancie does the same thing for Hariyama. So it's all kind of worked really well together. I've really enjoyed how this team's gelled, and surprisingly it's performed very, very well in all the mocks that I've done. Normally a lot of my teams are a bit hit and miss in the mocks, but this team has been really, really solid, which gets me a little bit afraid that in the actual game it won't perform to the standard I'm expecting it to. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see the work that the team can put in. I'm very excited for the matchup. Trevor's a fantastic battler, and I'm just really keen to see if I can continue this really good run of form. I feel like I'm really getting a handle on my team, and the building process has been easier every single week, just putting the right teams together, knowing what I want to work with, and I'm feeling very confident heading into this game. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this team builder video. If you did, like the video, subscribe, all of that. It's going to be a pretty hype game. We'll be posting it soon, so look forward to that. Should be up either tomorrow, or I'll do the thing where I follow it up after this team builder, all that jazz. You know how it works. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, we're going to see if we can get to a solid 4-2 record and really bounce our season back. But yeah, this is the bird, and I'm out this video. Alrighty, we are back. Turns out that he did want to challenge me today, so we have the replay of this game. I would normally record. Mate, what are you doing? Get out of there. I would normally record the live things, but Camtasia with this live stuff just doesn't work. So yeah, we ended up getting into the battle pretty much 20 minutes after I recorded the team builder. And as you can see, he's brought a very, very interesting team. So definitely expected the Mega Morwile, definitely expected the Rhyperior, the Nidoqueen and the Starmie. The Loom and the Rabombi were surprises. I guess I expected Ments and Porygon 2 over them, but I'm not at all upset that those guys are there. Definitely look like a really good matchup for my Diancie, especially if I can get up a Rock Polish in this game. Hariyama looks like it can do a lot of work as well, so I was pretty excited for this one. I knew that no matter what, I was probably going to lead Ferrothorn. I just felt that in this matchup, Ferrothorn just was able to take a hit from anything, like I said. Figured he might lead Rabombi and try and go for Webs, which would be slightly annoying, but not even that bad, because they do have the Hydreigon and the Talonflame, which are both above the ground. So, gonna kick this off. I lead Ferrothorn, he leads Morwile. I have no reason not to just stay in here and get up my rocks. Figure he's just going to try and attack me. I was tempted to go there for Gyro. Or no, sorry, I was tempted to go for Thunderwave, but I was actually there like, he could go for Sub here. So regardless, I just want to get up my rocks, because with Ferro, I could basically spam Gyro Ball until he kills me and just prevent the Sub from consistently being up if I needed to. But I was able to get up my rocks if he does Fire Fang. I get up the rocks. Now this turn, I figured there was a chance that he could click a different move, and in hindsight what I should have probably done on this turn was just sacked off my Ferrothorn, because I was considering going for either Thunderwave or just for Gyro Ball. But I figured in this situation, given how annoying Ferrothorn is for Trev to deal with, and given that there's a chance I could go for a move that could really hurt them more while still, I decided to make a more aggressive play into my Talonflame. Reason being was because I felt that Fire Fang was the only move that his Morwile could quickly kill me, and there was a chance obviously that my Flame Body could activate too, and I didn't think he'd go for another move, but he actually makes a fantastic prediction and Thunder Punches and knocks me out, but the Flame Body activates, and this matters so much in this game. Like, I can't even explain how much this matters. It's really unfortunate hacks. Trev makes a really good prediction, like a very good prediction, and I get very, very lucky in getting the burn. Why this burn is so important is literally on this turn right here. I'm going to send out my Ne-Croz-Ma. Now, normally in this situation against Morwile, I just click Earth Power and knock it out, because it's a Morwile, it's got to go down, it's a threat, and he might double out to like Rabombi or something to protect it, but then again, maybe he'd fear Heat Wave, so maybe he goes Starmie or whatever. He'd make a play to try and protect it in that scenario. And for me, I, with the burn now, can just go for Calm Minds, because I have a Ground EMZ, I'm not fearing knockoff at all. Player Off's not going to do anything. So I'm going to start spamming Calm Mind. He goes to the Player Off here, he gets a crit, but that doesn't do that much, and then he makes an interesting play of doubling out here into Rhyperior, because I'm going to Moonlight, and I did the calc, and be in my Ne-Croz-Ma. Tectonic Rage guaranteed knocks out Rhyperior from here. I saw it was lefties, not Shuka, so I can straight up Tectonic Rage and Oko this Rhyperior, which is huge. He's going to go out to Rabombi, and this damage that he gets off here, this 56%, is very interesting, because I did the calcs afterwards, and 56% from his Rabombi was, I think, I'm just going to quickly pull it up here, because I'm pretty sure I still have it up in my calc. Oh no, I don't. It was Minoru. I'm just going to quickly do this, because I do remember doing this calc after the game. +1 Ne-Croz-Ma versus Rabombi. Now, I believe he was timid. I can't remember what exactly he told me he was. I do have his set, but I'm not going to do that. But Life Orb Rabombi's Bug Buzz there, just 51 to 61. So he got it like an exact mid-roll. I went to the wrong page. He got an exact mid-roll in that situation. But he said it mattered because it meant that he couldn't tell if I was running bulk or if I wasn't because of the nature of the role. And so because of that, he actually went for... Well, you'll see what happens here. I'm able to knock out the Rabombi with Psyshock. Boom, Ne-Croz-Ma gets the second kill. And he makes the decision of going out to Breloom. Now, the reason he said he did this was because from the damage roll that he got off with Rabombi, he couldn't... well, the damage roll he got off meant that Starmie had a chance not to knock out Ne-Croz-Ma with Hydro Pump. Because it's Life Orb Starmie. And so he went to Breloom thinking that because I'm so bulky, I'm not running enough speed. But as we know, I'm creeping Adamant Breloom, so I knocked that thing straight out with a Psyshock. So Ne-Croz-Ma picking up kills. And the thing is, from this situation, I go for Moonlight here, because if this Starmie is not Life Orb, I can kill the Ne-Croz-Ma, I can kill the Nidoqueen, and it's just a 6-0 Ne-Croz-Ma sweep. But unfortunately, he does get the Hydro Crit. Now, this didn't really matter that much. If he's a Life Orb max special attack Starmie, then the lowest damage that this is doing is like, I think 42 or 43%, so it's always in his favor to knock me out, because my silly mistake in this matchup was running 196 in defense when I should have ran 196 in my HP, because if I'd done that, I would have been able to actually live this Hydro Pump into Bug Buzz. And if I'd done that, then depending on Nidoqueen's speed, which I believe would have outspammed me regardless, but I could have spammed Moonlight, and potentially if you missed a Hydro Pump, then I would have just 6-0'd Trev with Ne-Croz-Ma. So, a bit unfortunate, but now we've got a pretty sticky situation too, because since my Scarfer is dead and Ne-Croz-Ma is dead, I've got a bit of a pickle dealing with Starmie. So I go into my Hydreigon, and I just go straight for the Dark Pulse, not going to mess around with this Starmie. Now on this turn, I had a pretty tricky decision to make. I really wanted to go hard into my Ferrothorn on this turn, because I felt that if I went hard Ferrothorn, it would bluff the fact that Hydreigon could be Scarfed, and it may pressure his Starmie to make different plays. But instead what I decided to do is just, I see Mawil's there, I can kill it, so I just go straight for the knockout attempt. I also wanted Flamethrower in case he went into Nidoqueen, just to suss out what kind of set it was. But I double into Diancie here, as he actually doubles into Mawile. Now, I'm not sure why he doubled into Mawile. I'm assuming it's because he knew he couldn't knock out my Hydreigon, or he predicted me to maybe want to sack off my Ferrothorn. But I went Diancie because I knew that he wasn't going to click Sludge Wave against the Hydreigon, and I could take the Ice Beam just fine. It was no biggie whatever he went for, and Diancie could just get a kill. Now in this turn, I was very, very tempted to go for Rock Polish, because silly me thought like, oh yeah, I can live an Iron Head, but I knew I couldn't, so I just straight up knocked out Mawile. I'm not going to fuck around with that. He goes into Starmie, and the situation I put myself in at this point of the game is just trying to decipher Starmie's moveset. So we've seen Hydro Pump. I have to assume that he has Ice Beam or Dazzling Gleam to hit Hydreigon. The issue is that Dazzling Gleam not only hits Hydreigon, it also hits Hariyama. So I double in a Ferrothorn because I assume the Hydro Pump's coming. I know that I can just sack off Ferrothorn here with the knockoff as he reveals HP higher. So there's two of his sorted. So I go on a Hydreigon here because if he has Dazzling Gleam, it will knock out my Hydreigon, but Dazzling Gleam doesn't kill my Hariyama. The only thing that he can have that can kill my Hariyama is Psychic. Now if he has Psychic, I pretty much lose the battle from there if he has Dazzling Gleam or Psychic, but I figured he wouldn't have both. He might have Ice Beam instead, because obviously Ice Beam against like a Pasho Gliscor or just straight up knocks out Gliscor could be a thing. It also hits Hydra, but yeah, overall I think Dazzle, if he had it, I could have lived with Hariyama and just gone straight for the knockoff and knocked out Starmie, or I could have gone for the knockoff onto Nidoqueen, then potentially made plays around that. Or, you know, the thing is I would have probably just stayed in with Hariyama against the Nidoqueen and just spammed like other close combat, so try and force the Nidoqueen to kill me, so then Diancie could potentially get up a Rock Polish on Nidoqueen, try and live in Earth Power, and then go to town on the Starmie. But fortunately for me, he does have the Ice Beam, does not get the freeze, which is phenomenal, and we get the Dark Pulse kill here. Nidoqueen's going to come out, I'm not going to risk anything, I'm just going to go straight for the Dark Pulse. Just for safety, as he is going to go for the Ice Beam, knock me out. But from this range, even if he is a Shooka Nidoqueen, we can knock him out with Earth Power from Diancie. So Hariyama doesn't hit the field, but we are able to knock out the Nidoqueen, and we pick up a clean 2-0 victory against the Houston Toxapexans. So obviously, the burn on the Mawile mattered because it allowed my Ne-Croz-Ma the calm mind that it needed to run through a lot of Trev's team. I don't really know how this game would have gone without that burn. I think I still would have gone into Ne-Croz-Ma and probably would have been able to knock out the Morwile from that range. I'm not too sure. It was definitely a misplay on my part to just sack off Talonflame like that, but then again, I didn't predict him to go for Thunder Punch, so overall pretty rough in there, but I'm glad how the team put in the work. Ne-Croz-Ma now, after 6 games, has 10 kills and 3 deaths, so it is currently second on the kill leader standings, which is kind of crazy. Ne-Croz-Ma's been putting in a lot of work for me. Now, there are some transactions and trades that I did make to basically finish off my team, I think, for the rest of the season. I'm very happy with how the team looks now. So the transaction that I made was I actually dropped Heliolisk. Although I did recently pick up Heliolisk, I decided to drop it because I was doing a trade to get rid of my Ferrothorn, and so I wanted a Steel type, so I picked up Magnezone, who will be joining the team. And the reason for that is because I actually ended up trading with Togevoir, who was the coach now of, well, it was the Cincinnati Slifer Reds that Dan was the coach of, now it's the Portland Timbers, but we traded Ferrothorn for Shaman. So I've got rid of Ferrothorn and Heliolisk and brought in Shaman and Magnezone, which I'm pretty excited about. Shaman is something that I really enjoy using, really fun mon, really versatile for my team, and Magnezone is just really nice support for things like Diancie, for Talonflame, things like that. It's just really strong mon in general, so very happy to have both of them on my team. Very excited to see where we go from here. So we've gone from being 0-2 and -7 to now being 4-2 plus 8, I'm pretty sure we are. Yeah, plus 8. And we have shot up to 2nd overall in our conference, and we are 4th overall in the entire league. So we're in the top 4, back where I feel like the Frogadiers belong. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm feeling a lot more confident with this team. I'm really building some fun but really effective sets at the same time. I'm very excited to use Magnezone and Shaman. They might come in the next game, we'll have to wait and see, but a really positive, solid win. We will be playing the Houston Soul Rockets and Adam the Bee's knees next week. He's been in a bit of a slump lately, so hopefully it can still be a really competitive game. We'll see what happens, but thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll be back next week with another Frogadiers matchup. My name is Averd, I'm out this video.